We just had the Divisional Cup Opens. In this video, I'll break down all the big teams that qualified, which teams missed out, why MrSavage's new duo is so exciting, and I'll take a look at the map for finals. Let's get straight into it. So let's discuss the teams that qualified for Saturday's finals. We'll start off with the top 10. As you can see, Vico and Malibuca finished in first, continuing their incredible form as of late. They've come in second place in the past two Divisional Cups. They also qualified for the EWC LAN this weekend. In both of the tournaments we had this weekend, Vico was top for damage and top for eliminations, so he has been so dominant recently, and indeed he was top for damage in this tournament with over 6,000 more than Hari, who was in second. Crazy stuff from him. He was actually second for eliminations though, and the reason for that is because he was beaten by his own teammate Malibuca, who had one more kill than him. But listen, these guys put on an incredible performance, and you only need to take a look at the points tally to see that improve. They finished with over 1,000 points, the only team to manage that. They are really the team to beat right now, which is crazy considering only a couple of weeks ago we were talking about them saying that they were out of form. We were questioning whether the results would come. It wasn't looking great for these guys. They just weren't able to string placements together, and that has completely turned on its head. They are now just doing ridiculously well, and they probably are the favourites for this final. In second place we had Cami and Hari, a team that are still looking for their first big Divisional Cup placement since week 1. They were contested in that week, but they did manage a 7th place finish, and since then they just haven't been able to make results count. Yes, apart from 1 week they have been contested by iDrop and Marius over at Bumpy Bay in every single tournament, but still they're just not able to make those results stick. Will this week be different? Well, spoiler, they are contested again, so I'm not going to hold out hope, but listen, this second place was a positive for them. Hari in particular looked great, second most damage, 5th most eliminations. He is such an underrated player, and he is consistently proving that, so credit to these guys. We had Focus and Thomas HD, the defending Divisional Cup champions, in 3rd place. Noah Rayleigh and Vampy came in 4th. This is a completely new duo. Noah has officially split with the Deal. The Deal did play this tournament with Kylie, but they weren't able to qualify. But for their first tournament together, 4th is very, very solid. The next two teams are ones that you would 100% expect to make finals. Probably the two best teams in EU this chapter so far, Shark and Teeny and Sky and Scroll. We've then got Prism and Casper in 7th, a team that have made a real comeback in this chapter. They were very, very quiet last year, kind of struggling with the move to trios. Now that duos is back, now that they're back together, they are looking very good. We had the new duo of Belusi and Zangi in 8th place. Obviously Zangi was previously with Velo, someone who I will talk about a little bit more in a minute. Rounding out the leaderboard, in 9th place we had Trippin and Lunex, and in 10th place we had Azatgo and iFrozy. Now you'll be able to see all the other notable duos that qualified when we take a look at the finals map in a minute, but for now there is one team that I want to focus on, and that is of course MrSavage and Velo. This is a completely new duo for this week, and I have to say it feels like it makes a lot of sense. I do feel quite positive about this team. MrSavage is someone that's been playing in a lot of interesting duo dynamics. When he was playing with Tayson, when he was playing with Yapko, it was very fluid, and we know that Savage likes to play as the IGL, but when you're playing with players like that, you're never going to be able to fully lead, you're never going to be able to fully instill your ideas because they are so independent. They are players that are capable of leading, whereas with Velo, I think he is someone that is just going to follow Savage no matter what. He will play that support role, he will unquestionably follow him, and that will definitely benefit Savage because he will be able to play his game a lot more freely. It's a similar thing to how Poyo enables Peterbot to play his best game. Yes, Velo could be a really good fragger, he could be a great player in his own right, but if he works hard for Savage, then they will be better off as a duo. And listen, Velo is someone who I've been speaking about for ages. If you've been watching this channel for a while, then you'll know that. When he was doing well in the Victory Cups with King Cringe, I was giving him a huge amount of credit, and I'm really happy to see him getting a mainstream opportunity. One thing that I am super happy about too is that the vibes looked great with this duo. They seem really happy with each other. We all know that Velo and King Cringe were a great duo on paper, but the thing that held them back was the fact that they argued a lot, the fact that they didn't seem to have the best time playing with each other. But if Velo and Savage are getting on, then that is a great sign. Now we do know that there will be inevitable criticism from the Savage community because it's always going to happen after a while, so we'll see how Velo deals with that. If he is capable of shutting out the noise and he doesn't let that affect his performances, then I see a real future future for this team. They had an excellent day 1 coming in 10th place. The second day was a little bit more difficult. They were allegedly stream sniped in a few games, so it did kind of come down to the wire, but they have made it into the top 50 and we will be seeing them in the Divisional Cup finals. And if you're wondering how Savage's old duo Reason got on, he also qualified for the finals. This was his first tournament with his new duo Prax, and they have qualified. They will be landing at Classified Canyon, more on that in a minute. Now, before I go over the map for finals and give my top 10 predictions, let's go over some of the big duos that missed out, one of them being Yapko and Panzer, and that's because they simply didn't play this tournament together. Yapko was unable to play. We do know that he has officially been dropped from Falcons. They said because of Esports World Cup rulings, but I'm not sure what that really means because there's nothing that would mean they have to drop him. I know they have Peter Bot and Poyo signed already, but they could still have Yapko on the roster too. But anyway, he's no longer in Falcons, so who knows, maybe the fact that he didn't play this cup has something to do with him signing to a new org, because obviously him and Panzer are qualified for the Esports World Cup. But listen, Panzer did find an alternative teammate, and that was of course none other than Peter Bot, but they only played the first day together. They ended up finishing outside of the top 500, so no qualification for them. Another duo that failed to make it was Queasy and Murstache, and this is a team that I've expressed concern about in my video last week. I did say that they had 2 divisional cups to kind of change the way I'm feeling about them, to kind of prove that they still have the quality, to prove that they are a good duo, and they haven't managed that quite yet. Listen, it's such a weird one with these guys because they obviously won globals and they're obviously both very good, but they're really not placing well together. Since they formed, they've only made 1 divisional cup finals and they finished 37th in that, so the placements just haven't been there whatsoever. They weren't even able to make the most recent Esports World Cup heats, and as I say, it's tough because they probably should stick together because they're perfectly capable of turning it around and getting placements. And yes, I know it's the off season, yes, I know this isn't an FNCS meta, and surely they'll be better when it is one, but at the same time, as I keep saying in these videos, if you want to be regarded as one of the best teams in the world, you have to be the best all year round. You can't just pick and choose when you turn up. I need to see more from Queasy and Murstache in order to keep perceiving them as a top team. The other very big duo that didn't make it was Chap and Flixie. Now these guys were doing fine, it's just been a little bit of an off week for them. They did make the Esports World Cup qualifier finals, but they only finished 16th in that from uncontested left side of Slurpee, so a very, very disappointing placement there, and they're now unable to make the finals. Listen, these guys definitely shouldn't be splitting. We've seen plenty of times what they're capable of, but it certainly has been a bit of an off week for them. I'll throw up a list of all the other big teams that didn't make it. You can see that Mongrel and Turtle are on there. Seti and Rax in their first tournament back, only managing a 201st place finish. Definitely a bit of a tough start for them, but I'm sure they're going to come back. You can see from the list that a bunch of other big teams missed out too. We had Ping and Kiro fail to qualify, and Pradaj and Gonzo missing out on their first divisional cup of the chapter. They have made the previous 4. But listen, we still have a very stacked finals. Let's take a look at the map. So here are my top 10 predictions for finals. In 10th place, I've gone for Shura and Repairs. Now these guys played excellently last week, managing a 5th place finish, and the reason for that was because they capitalized on the chaos around them. If you take a look at the map, there's so many teams that land near Battlewood, but land in that southeast corner of the map in the desert area, and these guys were just able to third party all these fights to get a load of damage, to stay above Surge, and this really helped them to do well. And honestly, with the way the map's shaped up at the moment, I see no reason why they can't repeat that, so 10th place is where I've got them. In 9th place, I've gone for Acer and Podesai, and listen, these guys have got Pumping Station uncontested. They are a very solid duo, not one that I would be expecting to regularly break into the top 5s in these types of tournaments, but certainly they're capable of top 10 finishes. In 8th place, I've gone for Dharm and Demush. Now, these guys have Clorsey Lodge uncontested yet again. They just haven't been able to make the opportunities count over the past few weeks. They are qualifying for these tournaments, but they're not able to break into those top 5s, which is really what they should be doing considering their quality, considering the levels they showed last year. Do I think they're capable of it? Yes, but I've got them in 8th place for now because there are so many good teams in this lobby. In 7th place, I've gone for Shark and Teeny. And you might be thinking, why on earth have you got them so low? That is because they are contested this week by Hottie and Fishy X, and I have no doubts that Sharkantini will still get the better of them. I'm sure they're going to win in most of the games. But listen, when you're contested, it's very difficult to play all 6 games out as you normally would. So I'm not sure I can see these guys contending for the win. But honestly, with a team of their quality, they are so good at fighting, you do never know. In 6th place, I've gone for Mumsy and Sato. They have Painted Palms uncontested. They obviously were landing at Classified Canyon earlier on in the season, but they left after losing the off-spawn token against Chap and Flixie, which is interesting because now Chap and Flixie aren't in this final, so Reason and Prax have Classified Canyon uncontested. But listen, Mumsy and Sato, obviously a very good duo, very good firepower. With an uncon POI, they should be doing well. 5th place, I've gone for Sky and Scroll, and just like last week, the reason why I haven't got them in the top 3 is because I'm just not convinced by that situation at Battlewood, because it is such a big POI, because so many teams land around it. I just feel like it can get very congested, and we saw that happen last week where Sky and Scroll were consistently getting trapped in fights, and it did ruin a couple of their games. And if that does happen again this week, then I think that will be enough to stop them from getting the win. In 4th place, I've gone for Chino and Pablo Wingu. Now, it's always weird with these guys because they're landing at Sandy Strip and they never have that uncontested, obviously, because it's such a big POI, but you never know whether they're going to split with the other teams there or whether they're going to fight. Recently, they have been splitting, and based on that, I do think they are capable of making it into that top 5. Listen, we know their quality, we know how good they are at fighting. They finished 4th in the last Divisional Cup and 4th in the Esports World Cup qualifier last weekend, so 4th place in this tournament makes a lot of sense. For 3rd place, I've gone for Swizzy and Pixie. They finally have Lethal Labs uncontested. We did see last week that Lethal Labs was a target for teams that were struggling to have a comeback game, so hopefully that doesn't happen to them this week, otherwise they may struggle a little bit. But listen, more often than not, they will have Lethal Labs uncontested. We know their quality. It's a Swizzy and Pixie we're talking about here. I do believe they can get 3rd. 2nd place, I've gone for the defending champions of Focus and Thomas HD. They are again uncontested at Riptides. No reason why they can't win it. There is just one team that I think might edge them out, which is of course Vico and Malibuca. They've come 2nd in the past 2 tournaments, and that has been purely because they've started slow. They've finished the tournaments in style, winning both of the last 2 games in both the last Divisional Cups. If they can just sort out their starts, if they can have a couple of better performances in those early games, then they are going to win. Now, I know they did have a surprise team land on them in the last tournament, which obviously did affect them, but that shouldn't happen in this one, so they should be in a better situation, which is why I've put them in first. In terms of honourable mentions, I've got 2. You've got Khan and Faded, who qualified for the Esports World Cup last weekend. These guys have got a split to the west of the map uncontested, and honestly I could see them doing very well. I'd probably have them in 11th if I was extending my predictions. And then we also have Savage and Velo, who have that gas station uncontested, and the reason why I really like that spot is because you can get tags on the teams landing at Bumpy Bay, which is of course contested by Cami and Hari and iDrop and Marius. So I could see MrSavage and Velo starting their game with a lot of damage, maybe some kills. That could bode well for them. A top 10 is very much a possibility. So there's a list up on screen now of some of the new duos that did qualify for this tournament. As you can see, Darkos and Minori have now split. Darkos is now playing with Splick, whilst Minori is with Clement, but they weren't able to qualify. Big credit to Alba too. She finished inside the top 20 with Flobby, once again cementing her status as the best female player in the world. One exciting new duo that I do want to talk about is whch and Dinas. Now obviously Dinas was previously playing with Seti, but they have now split since Seti has gone back to playing with Rax. This is a really exciting team. I feel like the up and coming breed of Polish fighters are super exciting. There's a really good generation of Polish fraggers coming through right now, and whch and Dinas are at the heart of that. Definitely remember the names here, because in a couple of months I do think we'll see them qualifying for major finals. They are at that level. They will have a lot of firepower, and I am very excited about them. Teams like this will shatter the stereotype that Polish teams are passive and not so good at fighting. I mean, that's kind of already happened anyway with players like Dimush and Darm. Gone are the days where Polish players were passive. We now have this super strong new generation of fighters, so these guys are going to be good. I'll put a list of all the new duos up on screen. I can't possibly talk about them all now. I'll also put a list of all the players that are looking for duos, and as you can see, there could be some interesting potential matches with those. To pick two out here, we can see that Ivan and Radion have split. They signed to the same org together and it looked like they were going to stick for 2026, but the results just weren't there. Phantom is now playing with Radion. He split with Calais himself. Calais, someone who is still looking for a duo, and Artist is now playing with Ivan. And over on NA Central, we had 5 EU teams qualify for finals. They were Demush and Hari, Akira and Karama, Kami and Kaisers, Focus and Franek, and King Cringe and Frosty. In terms of org news, we had Trix signed for MGA. We also had a lot of rumours flying around left, right and centre, but Shark was going to be signing for Team Liquid. They have now been confirmed to be false. Shark came out and denied that he would be signing for them. Apparently the tweet with the Shark emoji was just a promo for something else, so we will not be seeing Shark sign for Team Liquid. Listen, that's going to do it for this video. Please remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any European Fortnite news. If you want to support me any further, then using code SPUDZON in the Fortnite item shop is a great way to do that. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.